Hi everyone, welcome to Celestial, welcome to today's video. Today is a continuation of the Navamsha series. Today I'm going to be talking about what it means to have Jupiter in your 7th house in your D9 Navamsha chart. Now, as I say in all of the Navamsha series videos, that when it comes to the D9 Navamsha chart, there's many definitions and translations for what this chart means. But for the sake of these videos, I'm only going to be talking about it in regard to the long-term partner or the spouse, especially the 7th house. Now, just to preface, when it comes to the spouse or long-term partner, especially planets in the 7th house, everyone at Celestial, including myself, we don't go into the appearance exactly, and we certainly don't go into things such as skin color and even some facial features, and this is due to the discrimination, grief, and suffering that individuals face for something that they don't have control over. I can understand, acknowledge, and respect that in certain cultures and even just individual preference that this is something that people like to know, and I just want to say now at the beginning of the video, unfortunately you won't find that answer in this video. Now, this video will also be a different take about Jupiter, especially in regards or in connection to the 7th house related matters. And I will go into both the positive and, of course, negative possibilities with Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart. Now, as always, you would have to look at other factors as well, such as your Venus placement. You'd have to look at the 7th house ruler, aspects to the 7th house ruler, aspects to this Jupiter in the 7th house of your Navamsha chart. You'd have to look at your D1 Lagna chart and your D9 Navamsha chart. But this is just going to be about having Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart. So it's not going to be mentioning aspects or conjunctions or anything else. So this is subject to change. Now, some quick notes on the D9 Navamsha chart. For the sake of these videos, yes, the D9 Navamsha chart represents many other things, such as your height of your fortune, your destiny, your inner workings, your spiritual karmas, your dharma, and so much more. But for the sake of the 7th house in D9 series, I'm just going to talk about it in relation to the long-term partner or the spouse. So for these videos, when I'm talking about the D9 Navamsha chart, specifically the 7th house, I'm talking about what other people will think of your marriage. Now, a lot of astrologers will say that this is a personality that your spouse will have, and that's not necessarily the case. It can indicate the themes that are present in your relationship or your marriage, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this is who your spouse is going to be towards you. It's more so the public image that your spouse will have based off of the planetary energies present in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart. I say that because the 7th house is a very public house. It's the marketplace. If you flip it 180, if you take your D9 Navamsha chart, which you would need your accurate birth time for, and make the 7th house your ascendant and read your chart that way, which is highly recommended because it gives you a general overview of your spouse's personality in so many different areas of their life. It's almost like as if you were reading your spouse's birth chart. But again, it's not stating that they're going to have these exact positions. It just kind of gives you a general theme or the energies that you can possibly find in this individual. So when you take the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart and make it the ascendant, and you read it as if you were reading your long-term partner or spouse's chart, the 7th house then becomes the 1st house. So it becomes a chart that people kind of see, an energy that people see or witness or perceive very strongly because it's the 1st house, just if you were reading it as your own ascendant. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this is what your spouse or long-term partner is going to be like with you. It's just something that's going to be most visible to other people. I like to give an example of Priyanka Chopra and Nick Jonas here. In Nick Jonas's 7th house of his D9 chart, he has Saturn and Pluto present in Gemini. And this indicates that this is possibly what his marriage or relationship is viewed as in the eyes of other people, or what people think about their union specifically. Now, Saturn, of course, giving age difference. One of the things that's majorly talked about in their dynamic and relationship is their age difference. Priyanka is 10 years older than him. And the Plutonian energy as well, which I really won't go into in this video at least, but you'll notice that Saturn and Pluto is very strongly talked about or present when the public looks at their relationship and marriage, whereas his 8th house, which is intimacy, which is what your partner is really like with you behind closed doors, is represented by Cancer. And from what we've heard and how they talk about each other, it's very loving and supportive. So that's just a quick example of the 7th house and the D9 Navamsha chart. Now, when Jupiter comes into the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart, many people associate Jupiter with being the great benefic. It represents positivity, it's the guru, and all these wonderful things, but that's not necessarily the case. Jupiter does what many Vedic astrologers will tell you Rahu does, which is expand. And sometimes when charts, if there's negative energy present or challenges and Jupiter aspects it very much means that Jupiter will expand that negative energy as well. Jupiter is a very heavy planet, and with that heaviness brings a lot of heavy karmic challenges and tests and just karma to work through as well. Now, when Jupiter is involved, it does bring a level of hope or positivity, but it doesn't bring it 100%. Again, it's going to expand what is already suggested in the chart. So when you have Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart, it becomes immensely important for you to look at aspects and for you to look at the ruler of the 7th house and what it's doing in relation and in connection to Jupiter. Having Jupiter connected to the 7th house related matters, especially if it's sitting in the 7th house, often indicates that the individual wants a partner that is very noble, that has a very good moral compass, or they, in other ways, have very, very high expectations from the partner. It often indicates that you end up with a partner that is, quote, foreign. Now, that doesn't mean that you end up with a foreigner, though that could very much be the case. It could represent that you end up with somebody that's possibly from the same ethnic background as you, but just that they come from a different country or a different city. So there's some distance usually present in the more physical sense, and even in the characteristic or philosophical sense as well. There can be very strong themes and karmas connected to teaching and learning when you have Jupiter in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsha chart. It often means that the partner is a teacher, or you could become a teacher to your partner. There can be a very big risk of disillusionment present here, so because there's usually so many expectations present when Jupiter is in the 7th house from both parties, from the individual and from the partner themselves, it can indicate that there can be disappointments and there can be difficulties and striving and achieving for those expectations and exceeding them, especially all the time. There can be a lack of thought and even depth present here, so you could come across somebody that you think is so positive or makes you so happy that they're almost showing you an unrealistic side of partnerships or marriages or even what life is. So you can get into a relationship with somebody that you think is, for example, very confident, very happy-go-lucky, and somebody that you can explore with, but after you enter into a more serious commitment with them, such as marriage, or even moving in with them, you realize that this individual is really not practical, or they look at life as an adventure, and that's not really what life is. So there can be a lot of teaching present if we just go by the example I just provided, where you end up with a partner because on the surface level or on the outside, they look like they're a very good partner because they're very happy, they make you laugh, so on. They can be very knowledgeable, well-traveled, well-educated. But when you get into a relationship with them, you realize that they do things very, very differently, or maybe they don't really have an idea of how to deal with the practical side of marriage or relationships. And that's where the teaching and learning element will strongly come in, where you can find yourself often having to teach this individual how to be in a relationship. And it can also go both ways. Your partner can often teach you how to be in a relationship, or even how to live life in a more happier and even carefree way. Now, Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart creates a lot of heaviness and karma in relation and connection to the marriage. So marriage can start off, or again, long-term relationship can start off as fun or hopeful or adventurous. But when things get more serious, there can be disappointments present, and there can also be a lack of togetherness present here as well. If this Jupiter is seriously afflicted, you can find that the partner only wants to spend time with you when things are happy and when things are positive, and they can really struggle with being present when things are more difficult or when you're struggling in other ways. There's very strong karma present here when it comes to advising as well. So if Jupiter is seriously afflicted, you can have a partner that expects you to listen to them and follow what they say, even if it's wrong and even if you don't agree with it. And on the more intense side, again, if Jupiter is negatively aspected or afflicted, it can indicate the partner being a fanatic. So the partner can have their own set of beliefs and philosophies and morals and judgment, and they want you to very much become like them or follow what they say, even if it's wrong and even if you don't agree with it. On the more positive end, having Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart can promise that the partner can be very fun-loving, very adventurous, and very generous and benevolent as well. It can indicate that the partner is usually well-known, or if not well-known, in other ways well-connected to other people, especially from different cultures. It can indicate that the partner is a lover of truth and integrity and also expects you to have a very strong moral compass and to be on your best behavior and to treat people well and again to be benevolent and generous in your nature as well. The partner can teach you a lot about life, so they can be again very well educated, or in other ways very well learned or well traveled. It can be somebody who has a lot of fun in life and somebody who is known to be very happy-go-lucky or cheerful or even surrounded by joy. In a more spiritual sense, it could be somebody who is incredibly religious or spiritual. They can have their own routine when it comes to the spiritual realm, such as they can be somebody who meditates frequently or in other ways likes to participate in religious or spiritual events and occasions as well, and has that same expectation towards you. In the more positive sense, your partner can be somebody who is a mentor to you and a guide to you, somebody that you learn a lot from on every realm, whether it's the material realm, emotional, spiritual, mental, and so on. Having Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart usually creates a very big imbalance in the relationship when it comes to equality between the partners. On the more negative end, or again, if there's difficult aspects present, it can indicate that the partner insists on having the upper hand and leading the relationship where you don't agree. And on the more positive end, or I guess you can say positive, it can indicate that either of you kind of gives the other the right or the freedom to kind of lead the relationship, and you kind of go off of either the partner's philosophy or your own when it comes to navigating the marriage or long-term relationship. Equality can be difficult to come by with Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart, or again, there can be a severe imbalance when it comes to that, because one of the partners is usually looked up upon for guiding, for mentoring, for teaching, and even just the way of life. So oftentimes it's not a relationship of equals, and that can happen if there's other planets in the 7th house or aspects, but it's usually very unlikely. The partner can have difficulty in remaining grounded or even a part of the more practical side of life, and especially relationships. So the partner could not want to deal with bills or taxes or the more serious commitments, such as if a family member falls sick, showing up for that family member, because they don't want to kind of attach themselves to material or earthly or human suffering. So you can often find a lot of difficulty in trying to convince the partner to do things your way, but this is usually when there's more difficult energy present in the 7th house or aspecting this Jupiter. On the more positive end, your partner can actually really enjoy listening to you, so they could love to take your advice and follow through on what you do, but you'd have to look at synastry and their D9 Navamsha chart as well. With Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart, there are very, very heavy and strong karmic lessons present when it comes to relationships with other individuals, especially your spouse or long-term partner. You can find that one of you is almost at service to the other, and again, it can be from a teaching or learning sense, but could also be from a physical sense, such as one of the partners falling ill or something happening, and then the other partner having to almost be of service to the partner. Now, on the positive end, it can indicate a very, very happy union and relationship and marriage as well, but this would have to depend on your chart. If you have more Piscean or even Sagittarius energy, more fire energy, adventurous energy present in your chart, you can really, really enjoy and get the benefits and blessings of Jupiter in the 7th house of your D9 Navamsha chart. In fact, you can consider your partner to be your biggest blessing. Or in other ways, you can have immense respect for this individual, and it can go both ways as well. Oftentimes, having Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart indicates that you openly want to learn a lot from your partner, or your partner could want to learn a lot from you, even if when it comes to knowledge or different topics, education, traveling, or just even philosophy about life. So it can indicate that either you or your partner wants to be committed to somebody that you can continuously learn from, and the key word being continuously. You can find that you get into relationships with individuals who are from different cultures or who are not very close to you or don't come from the same city or community as you, because the learning element is usually so strong here and so desired here. So you could very well end up in a relationship with individuals who are from a vastly different culture than you, simply because you love to learn about their culture and be a part of it and participate in it for your own learning. It's likely that you won't commit to somebody unless you have a strong and healthy level of respect for them, especially on an intellectual level. And again, your partner could very well be a mentor to you, and you could be very, very happy with this by letting your partner take the lead, or even looking upon your partner as this great blessing and somebody that you can learn from. There can be a risk of having such strong optimism or hope where it's almost blind optimism and hope, and you don't look at the relationship in a realistic or practical sense. So synastry is going to be very, very important to look at with Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart. Make sure that there are more grounded elements present as well, because that's going to be very important for a long-term and stable partnership. If there are other factors at play, it can indicate that the relationship or marriage can be an open marriage and relationship at some point in time. So you can end up opening up your marriage and relationship and kind of meeting with other partners, or being open to even dating other people, or you can in other ways just have an open partnership or marriage, depending on the sign that this is happening in and aspects as well. One thing for sure that is promised is that there's going to be a lot of learning present with this placement and from the partner, and for better or for worse. So you could learn a lot from the partner or marriage or relationship in a difficult sense. You can learn a lot about what it means to be a partner and to be in a committed partnership with someone. And you can also learn in a very positive sense how much positivity that being with somebody can even bring you. Oftentimes, if there are more positive aspects, it can indicate that your partner brings a lot of luck to you. So you can find that if you were wanting to start a business or even travel or meet new people, you can actually do that through the partner. So you can expand your social circle, network, and connections through the partner as well. In the most positive sense, it can indicate a partner that is very loyal, very faithful, not just to you, but they could very well be known as being very loyal and faithful, humble, honorable, and noble through their relationships and by other people. On a more difficult or negative level, it can indicate that the partner wants you to mold into what they want you to be, and they want you to lead your life based off of what they think and what they want. In a positive sense, your partner could end up being your biggest blessing. They can be immensely devoted to you and the marriage or union. On the more negative end, it could be somebody that is not devoted or loyal, and somebody that you have to almost convince or teach them how to be loyal and how to be a committed partner. You may have to serve them and run after them quite a lot. Having Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart can indicate that your partner is your biggest supporter, your biggest fan, somebody who will happily follow you and what your beliefs are and will do anything to support you and be present in the union. Your life can significantly improve after meeting this individual in the most happy and positive sense possible. They can bring a lot of joy into their life, or as you continue this relationship with them, you can find that you end up attracting opportunities almost effortlessly, and you can enjoy them with your partner. Your partner can come from a different background than you, a different culture, or even a different country than you. Your partner can be a very lucky individual, a very happy person. You can find that other people often have really positive and wonderful things to say about your partner, so your partner could have a really wonderful reputation as well. And your partner could end up being one of your favorite people in the world. So it's very likely that after you meet this individual, and if it's a very positive placement according to aspects in the overall chart, you could almost escape into your own world with your partner. So it's likely that you can retreat from your other connections, and people can find it hard to get a hold of you because you and your partner are in your own world and on your own adventure. Your partner can be known for their wisdom or education or even knowledge. They can be very good at expressing their thoughts and beliefs in a very respectful and civil manner. Your partner will likely be of great social standing and good moral values as well, so the moral compass will likely be very strong here. The partner can be very honest or have very high expectations when it comes to honesty. They can again be very highly educated, well-traveled, well-learned, and they can often be fond of adventure and have a lot of connections to other people as well. Overall, this can be a really wonderful blessing and placement to have. Again, you'd have to look at your chart as a whole. It will create a heaviness in the marriage or partnership, and there will be very strong lessons to learn from the partner and the union here. If you have more fire energy present in your chart, even air and water to some extent, then this can end up being a lot of fun for you. You could really enjoy your dynamic with your partner. If you have more earth energy, and again, depending on the sign that's in the 7th house and the ruler of the 7th house, you can see more of the negative themes or have more difficulty with the partner and union in this life. With that being said, I'm going to wrap this Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart video. I feel like this is the perfect video to talk to you about a special little note that I have. When I created Celestial, it was very important for me to create a platform or community where we could give back to others in a very authentic and benevolent way. It's deeply important for me to give back to other people, not just through astrology in the forms of consultations or readings, but to give back to those who don't have very much and are in desperate need of our assistance. I knew that with Celestial, I wanted us to partner with other organizations that I feel that we deeply align with, that I deeply align with when it comes to what my definition of life and humanity is. And I'm very happy to talk to you quickly about an organization and the first organization that we are going to partner with. I want to announce that starting today, July 18, 2023, to August 18, 2023, we are partnering with SOS Children's Village. Now, this organization is not related to astrology, but it is related to human connection and promoting the well-being of not just human beings and adults, but also children. SOS Children's Village is an international children's charity that offers safe and nurturing family homes to over 80,000 orphaned and abandoned children in over 130 countries and territories around the world. They offer children who don't have very much and have lost their primary nurturing connections, a loving home with mothers and nurturing figures. They offer a lot of support in safe environments and where their needs for food, health, and shelter are continuously met. I want to share that starting today, July 18, and going until at least August 18, everyone at Celestial, including myself, all the lovely astrologers that we have, our researchers, our interns, volunteers, and social media team will be donating our salaries towards SOS Children's Village. On top of that, any profit and earnings that we make from consultations or readings in this time period coming from you will also be donated to SOS Children's Village. In return, you will be getting an official tax receipt, and this gives a tax advantage to individuals or if you want to donate from your business, and it can reduce the amount of income tax that you owe as well. The money that we collect and donate in this time will go towards a variety of different things, whether it's providing food for the children, clothing, helping them with school supplies before school starts in the fall, and it goes towards protecting orphan and abandoned children with an aim to ensure every child belongs to a family and grows up with love, respect, and security across 136 countries. I will put the link to their website and other relevant information in the bio in this video. I just want to thank you in advance for taking the time to listen to this and being a part of such an important cause. I'm very excited and grateful that SOS Children's Village is the first organization that Celestial can partner with, and we do strive and aim to partner with many more organizations such as this, or organizations that have an equally beautiful and important mission in the near future. With that being said, I'm going to officially wrap this video. I hope you enjoyed the information about Jupiter in the 7th house of the D9 Navamsha chart. If nothing else, I hope it offered you a different perspective. Thank you so much for spending this chunk of time with me. I'm so excited to see what we can do for SOS Children's Village as well. I hope you're keeping well. I hope you're keeping safe, and until next time.